The Forum was not ruins, it was a graveyard of empires. Broken pillars jutted from the earth like jagged bones, their marble faces cracked in bleeding shadows. Fog slithered low across the ground, curling around the shattered statues, as though the dead themselves were breathing through the mist. In that choking silence stood David, the pale child. His skin was ash white, his thin frame lost in the vast emptiness of stone and shadow. His eyes, faintly glowing like dying embers, caught the blood-colored light of the sky. Above him, the moon did not shine, it bled. Its red glow spilled across the marble ruins like an eternal wound carved into heaven. The air was not still. It whispered. Low, broken voices drifted through the fog, too faint to be real, yet too sharp to ignore. They clung to David's ears, hissed against his bones. Child, can you hear us? The stones remember. The dead remember. You are the key, and you cannot run. David shivered. His lips trembled as he whispered into the endless dark. I don't want this. Leave me alone. But the voices only deepened, overlapping, thousands of throats echoing from beneath the earth. Alone? You were never alone. You were chosen before your first breath. You belong to us. The fog thickened, rising higher, swirling like claws around David's feet. Shadows moved in its depths. Not human shadows, but twisted forms dragging themselves closer. The smell of damp stone mixed with rot. Then, out of the haze, came Lucilla. Her cloak clung to her as though soaked in the mist itself. She seized David's arm, her voice breaking against the weight of the silence. David, look at me, don't listen. They are lies. Nothing but graves speaking through cracked earth. David's eyes flickered, wavering between her and the crimson moon above. His chest heaved. The whispers pressed harder. She fears you, child, because she knows the truth. You are the silence that will swallow Rome. Lucilla tightened her grip, her nails digging into his wrist. Fight it! Don't let them take you. The ground beneath us is cursed. It thirsts for blood, not yours. The ground answered her words. A tremor shuddered through the ruins, and from the far shadows, laughter rose low at first, then curling higher, a venomous sound that dripped with delight. Claudius. He stepped into the red haze like a phantom made flesh, his cloak torn and flowing, his eyes like blackened coals. His voice was not human, it was the grinding of stone, the groan of earth breaking. Rome is already dead, Severus his child. Can't you feel it? Every pillar, every statue, every bone in this soil sings your name. The boy is not yours. He is mine. David fell to his knees, clutching his ears, crying out into the choking air. Stop! I don't want this. I don't want to hear you. The whispers only screamed louder, an ocean of drowned voices thundering from beneath the Forum. Sit upon the throne of ruin. Let the dead rise. Let Rome bleed. Let silence reign. Lucilla bent down, pulling him against her chest, her tears vanishing into the fog. David, resist! Please, if you surrender, you will be lost forever. The blood-red moon flared, flooding the ruins with its ghastly light. Statues twisted in the haze. Shadows stretched into monstrous forms. The ground split with a sound like ribs cracking. And in the broken silence, David trembled, torn between the warmth of the living and the hunger of the dead. The night did not end. The sky hung like a torn veil above the ruins, the blood moon swollen, dripping its crimson light across the broken marble. The air was damp, suffocating, as if every breath carried the taste of iron. David staggered to his feet, still clutching Lucilla's hand. His ears rang with the fading chorus of whispers, but their echo refused to die. Each word curled around his heart like a serpent. Mine. Mine. You are ours. Lucilla pulled him toward the shadows of a half-collapsed archway, her eyes frantic. We cannot stay here. The Forum belongs to the dead now. If we linger, they will take you completely. But David resisted, his glowing eyes fixed upon the cracked ground. Beneath the stone, Something pulsed a dim light, beating like a heart buried in the soil. "Lucilla, it's calling me," he whispered, voice hollow. "I can feel it beneath the earth. The throne of bones. It waits for me." Her grip tightened. "No. Listen to me, David. That throne is not your destiny, it's a curse. Claudius wants your soul chained to it. If you sit upon it, Rome itself will fall." A low, rasping laugh rolled across the ruins. The fog parted, and from the red haze emerged Claudius again. His shadow stretched long across the ground, twisting like serpents. "Fall?" His voice was a wound torn into sound. "Rome has already fallen. Its heart rotted the day Severus died. This boy is not salvation, he is the echo of the Empire's last breath, and I will claim him." David's chest heaved. He covered his ears, but the voices swarmed inside him like locusts. His knees buckled. "I can't stop them, Lucilla. They're inside me. They won't leave. They want blood." Lucilla knelt before him, her face pale but defiant. "Then let them want. You are stronger than their hunger, David. Look at me, your blood belongs to no one." Claudius raised his hand, and the earth responded. Cracks split the marble floor, coughing dust into the choking night. From the gaps, skeletal hands clawed upward, decayed fingers pulling their way into the open world. "Rise," Claudius commanded. "Rise, and crown your king." The corpses of long-dead legionnaires dragged themselves into the crimson light, their armor rusted, their skulls hollow, but their steps unbroken. They gathered around Claudius like an army reborn, their shields splintered yet raised in obedience. David screamed, stumbling back as the dead encircled him. The sound of iron against stone rattled through the night. "Lucilla," his voice cracked. "They'll take me. I can't fight them." She drew her dagger, its blade dull but trembling with her resolve. "You are not alone. As long as I draw breath, they will not take you." Claudius smirked, his shadow stretching further, cloaking half the ruins. "Then you shall not draw breath for long." The dead surged forward, and under the bleeding moon, the first battle for David's soul began. The forum shook with the march of the dead. Rust-eaten armor clattered as skeletal legionnaires lifted their shields, their hollow eye sockets reflecting the blood moon's glow. Their steps were not heavy, yet each one echoed like a funeral drum across the ruins. David froze, his body trembling. The whispers roared louder, drowning his thoughts. "Do not resist. You are the silence. You are the end. Let us in." He clutched his head, his faintly glowing eyes flickering like dying candles. "Lucilla, I can't hold them back." Lucilla's dagger gleamed weakly in the crimson light. Her stance was unyielding, though her breaths came quick. "You don't have to hold them alone. Trust me, David. Trust me, and we will carve through their lies." Claudius's laughter scraped the air like broken iron. "Trust? There is no trust in a grave. Every oath, every bond, every empire buried, devoured, forgotten. The boy belongs to us, as Rome belongs to the worms." He raised his arm. The skeletal legion moved as one, their formation flawless, as if centuries of death had not dulled their discipline. Shields locked, spears lowered. David staggered back against the base of a shattered column, his eyes wide with terror. The crimson haze thickened, and with it came the sound of distant horns, phantom war cries, as though the dead still marched to a war that never ended. Lucilla stood before him, dagger ready. "Stay behind me. If we die tonight, it will not be in silence." The first wave struck, bone against flesh, rusted spears thrust forward, scraping the stone. Lucilla spun low, her dagger slashing through one corpse's neck. The skull toppled, clattering across the marble, but the body still lunged forward until she split its ribcage with a final strike. David screamed, the whispers clawing at his mind. His glowing eyes flared brighter now, burning faintly red as the blood moon above. The skeletal army halted. Every skull turned toward him, Claudius's grin widened. Yes, feel it, child. The silence within you. Command them. They are yours. David fell to his knees, clutching his chest as if something inside him were breaking open. The ground trembled beneath his touch. Cracks split outward, and from them rose more bones, more corpses, called by his breath alone. Lucilla's voice cut through the chaos. David, fight it. They are not yours, they are his. If you let them in, you'll never come back. But her words were drowned by the chant that rose from the skeletal throats. Hail the heir of silence. Hail the blood moon's child. Hail, David. The red light surged. The ruins shook. And in the chaos, David screamed, not in fear this time, but with something darker, something the dead obeyed. The chant of the dead swallowed the forum. Their voices did not rise like men they scraped, hollow, like the wind rattling through skulls. Hail the heir of silence. Hail the blood moon's child. Hail, David. David's scream broke into the night, but the sound twisted. It became something else, something not human. The ground split wider beneath him, coughing up bones, ancient swords, helmets still stained with centuries-old blood. Lucilla stumbled back, her eyes wide. David, stop! You're feeding it. But David could not hear her. His glowing eyes were no longer faint, they blazed red, reflecting the moon above. The fog curled toward him, wrapping around his body like spectral chains, binding him, crowning him. Claudius spread his arms, shadows writhing at his feet. Yes, the Empire breathes again through him. The silence crowns its air. The skeletal army dropped to one knee, as if in worship. Shields pressed to the cracked earth. Their empty sockets glowed faintly, mirroring David's burning eyes. Lucilla's voice cracked with desperation. David, look at me. You are not theirs. You are not silence. You are flesh. You are life. For a moment, his body trembled. His lips parted, a boy's voice breaking through. I don't want this. But Claudius's shadow coiled tighter. His whisper was a blade pressed against the child's mind. Want? You were never given a choice. You were born for this throne. You are not David. You are the end. The blood moon pulsed brighter, spilling light like a wound torn wider in the sky. The forum quaked as though Rome itself was clawing out of its grave. Lucilla rushed forward, seizing David by the shoulders. Her dagger dropped from her hand, clattering uselessly to the stone. Then, I will choose for you. If the silence wants you, it will have to take me too. The light in David's eyes flickered. The whispers hissed louder, furious. The skeletal army rattled their shields, the sound like thunder made of bone. And then David screamed again. But this time, the voice was torn in half his own, half something deeper, darker, older than Rome itself. The ruins split further, and from the earth rose a throne woven from bone, crowned with skulls, dripping with blood not yet dried, though centuries had passed. The throne of silence had awakened. The throne rose like a wound tearing open the world. Bone fused with stone, skulls pressed together in twisted reverence, and from their hollow mouths dripped black blood that hissed as it touched the marble floor. The air itself recoiled, heavy with the weight of something older than gods, older than Rome. David collapsed to his knees before it, his small frame trembling violently. His glowing eyes flickered between crimson and pale gold, as if two souls battled within the fragile cage of his body. Claudius stepped forward, shadows wrapping around him like a cloak. His voice was a whisper, yet it shook the forum like thunder. Kneel, child. The throne does not wait. The Empire of Silence hungers for its heir. The skeletal legions slammed their shields in unison, the sound like coffins closing, again and again. Hail, hail, hail. Lucilla's hand found David's shoulder. Her touch was warm against the ice of the fog, her voice shaking but unbroken. David, don't. If you sit upon it, you'll never rise again. It will devour you. It will make you theirs. David's breath came ragged, each inhale scraping like glass in his lungs. He raised his head, staring at the grotesque throne. The skulls seemed to move, their jaws chattering, their empty sockets following him. "I hear them. They're calling me." His voice cracked like a child's, but beneath it something deeper rumbled, a second voice rising inside him. "They want their king." Lucilla knelt in front of him, forcing his eyes to hers. "You are not their king. You are not Silence. You are David." For a moment, his eyes softened, the red glow dimming. But then, Claudius's laughter shredded the night. "David? That name is Ash. He is the heir Rome buried, the silence that breathes between every death. Look at him, he is no boy. He is eternity in flesh." The throne pulsed, veins of shadow spreading across its surface. The bones groaned, as if eager to feel weight upon them again. And David stood. His body was trembling, yet his steps carried him forward. The fog parted, bowing before him. The skeletal army lowered their heads. The blood moon burned brighter, as though the sky itself wished to kneel. Lucilla screamed, her voice breaking. "David, if you take that throne, you are gone, forever." David's hand reached forward, touching the armrest. It was warm, too warm. The skulls hissed, their jaws snapping in feverish hunger. For an instant, the boy hesitated. His glowing eyes flickered again, gold fighting red, light fighting shadow. And then he sat. The forum shook. The ground split. The dead howled in worship. The throne of silence had found its master. The moment David's frail body sank into the throne, the forum screamed. Not with voices of the living, but with the shrieks of centuries, of wars that had bled the empire dry. The marble cracked, the broken pillars howled, and the blood moon swelled until it drowned the stars. The throne pulsed beneath him, veins of shadow crawling up his arms like serpents. His skin grew pale as frost, his eyes burning brighter than any torch. He no longer breathed. The silence had become his breath. Claudius fell to his knees, arms raised high. His voice rang out like steel tearing through bone. "Behold! The heir ascends. The silence wears its crown once more." The skeletal army collapsed as one, foreheads pressed to the ground. Shields clattered like thunder rolling across the dead earth. Their hollow sockets blazed crimson, echoing the fire in David's gaze. Lucilla's cry tore through the chaos. "David, fight it! Don't let it hollow you out! Please!" For a heartbeat, just a heartbeat, her words seemed to reach him. The boy's lips trembled. "I remember the river, the sunlight. I was alive." But the throne's grip tightened. Bone spikes coiled around his legs, sinking into his flesh, fusing him with the seat. His scream was not human, it was the cry of every dead soldier who had ever fallen beneath Rome's banner. Lucilla lunged forward, seizing the dagger she had dropped. She raised it high, her hands shaking, her tears falling like fire on marble. "Then I'll cut you free, even if I die for it." Claudius's shadow erupted, slamming her to the ground. He loomed over her, his skeletal face twisting in mockery. "Foolish girl, you cannot save him. You can only die with him." David's head turned slowly, his glowing eyes fixed on her. His lips moved, whispering words that chilled the marrow in her bones. "Run, before I am not me anymore." But Lucilla shook her head, blood staining her mouth. "No, David, I will not run. If the silence takes you, it takes me too." The throne roared, yes, roared as if alive, as if laughing, and from the cracked earth rose more skeletons. Not soldiers this time, but emperors' crowned skulls, robed in shadow, their hollow gazes locked on David. They circled him, their voices one with the void. "Hail, the last emperor. Hail, the silence. Hail, eternity." David's scream joined theirs, and the night itself bled.